Man, is it hot today. It's like 96 degrees in my backyard. I want something that's gonna cool me down. And I bet you do too. So today we are going to make a blackberry milkshake with lemon curd whipped cream on top. Oh my God. I don't know about where you live in the country. Blackberries are popping up all over bushes around here. You can just pull up alongside a road, pick a couple gallons of berries in just a few minutes, and make this great milkshake. So join me today on Simple French Cooking, and I'll show you how. God, is that refreshing. The very first step is to make our blackberry syrup. Now we're going to start by making actually a simple syrup, which is just equal parts of sugar and water, just brought to a boil till the sugar dissolves and then cooled off. So for ours, we're going to take 1 cup of sugar, just pour it in a pan, and then we're going to take 1 cup of water. And we're just going to turn this on and bring that to a boil. In the meantime, while we're waiting for our sugar to boil, I'm going to use some beautiful blackberries that I picked. If you don't have these, you can certainly buy blackberries at the grocery store. You could also try this with huckleberries, blueberries, raspberries. It's great with all the above. Any berry, strawberries would work great. All right, and once your syrup comes to a rapid boil, we're just going to add our blackberries. And don't worry if you have little bits in there, because we're going to strain it before we make the final syrup anyways. So once you've dropped your fruit in, just turn it off, give it a little swirl. Then we're just going to drop this into our blender, puree it, and then we're going to strain the seeds out of it. All right, let's just pour all of this in here. And whenever you blend something that's hot, you have to watch out, because when you turn the motor on, the air expands and it's going to cause the top to go flying off and spray you with hot syrup. So I always loosen the little cap over the feeder hole, make sure it's not in there tightly. Then we're going to cover it with a cloth. So the feeder cap is loose, the cloth is over the top. There we go. And what that does is allow some steam to come out. All right, now that this is blended a lot, we're just going to strain it because there's a ton of seeds in there. And you can use any strainer you have. This is one I use for pasta. I'm just going to take a spatula and just rub it through. Just look at this beautiful color. It's going to have great flavor. And if you look at all of these seeds, you just really don't want these to eat these. They're hard, they're not that great tasting. Now we have to make the lemon curd. And my favorite recipe comes from a really famous pastry chef in France, Pierre who is really super known worldwide for his delicious macarons. And if you ever get to Paris, you have to stop at his pastry shop. The last time we were there, my wife spent over $200 on pastries. I mean, we came back with an armload and just sat in our hotel room eating them. It was delicious. But this is my version of his recipe. So we're going to start with 1.25 cups of sugar. And then we need to put in 4 whole eggs into a pot there. And then we're going to zest 3 lemons. And you should really get yourself a little microplane. They're like $8. Invaluable in a kitchen. All right, let's add that in here. And then we're just gonna juice our 3 lemons and add the juice and get cooking. All right, let's add all this fresh juice. All right, now let's just whisk it up. It's super important to cook this on low heat because we're not trying to make a lemony omelet here. We're trying to make lemon curd. So what I like to do, I started on high because I'm a little bit impatient. And then now, since it's been on a little while, and if I stick my finger inside, the mixture is kind of hot. Probably about 120 degrees. So I'm just going to turn this down to like medium. And just keep stirring. I also like to use a wooden spoon or a wooden spatula like this that's flat because this allows me to get in the corners of my pan more effectively. And so what we're looking to do is just cook this until it gets thick, and you'll start noticing when it hits a certain temperature, the eggs just start to firm up and it gets that kind of custardy pudding kind of consistency. And the other ingredient that we're adding is 6 ounces of butter. I only use unsalted. All right, and so if you look inside the pot, it's already starting to get really thick. So we're going to turn that down even lower. And here's the thing, you know, if you do scramble it, don't worry about it. Just put it in your food processor or your blender. It'll smooth it right out. It'll be fine. Nobody will notice. All right, look at that consistency. Just super, super thick. And now that it's this consistency, and if you look, it's holding up, it's thick enough that when you rub your finger through it, it holds the tracks. I'm going to add the butter, which is going to immediately cool down the eggs. Just turned off the burner. And then we're just going to stir it until the butter is completely melted. And then what you want to do is put this in the refrigerator and let it get completely cold. Now comes the fun part. You've got your lemon curd made. You can do that ahead of time. You made your blackberry syrup. That's all set to go. So now we're just going to make the ice cream. I don't really use a recipe. I mean, just taste it and see how you go. But just put a couple scoops of ice cream. We're just making one right now. There we go. 3 scoops. All right, and then let's just add some blackberry syrup. And once again, you know, do it to whatever flavors that you like. We're going to put a little bit of milk. All right, let's blend it up. Cool, we're all set. Serve this in whatever you have. I have this really cool martini glass. Just gonna pour it in right here. Oh my God, look at that. That looks awesome. And then what I did is I mixed equal parts of lemon curd and whipped cream together. We're just gonna make this fancy and put this in our pastry bag here. Now you could just, if you don't have a pastry bag, you could just put a spoonful on the top. And we're just gonna pipe out. And if you If you wanted to go for bonus rounds, you know the cigarette cookies you can find in stores, the rolled up ones, you know, you could stick one in there. That would be awesome. Anyways, thank you so much for joining me today. Hope you enjoyed my blackberry milkshake with lemon curd whipped cream. Make it at home. It's the perfect antidote for super hot summer weather. Thanks for watching, and subscribe. Hit the bell so you get notifications when new videos come out. Talk to you soon. Bye bye.